Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began with a crash on the highway and ended with a whole city fighting for its life.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Joe's Diner is located about 10 miles out of town on the highway going north to St. Paul. Joe caters to the truck drivers who wrestle those big 20-ton diesel jobs. You know, the ones that scare the pants off you when you have to edge over to the side of the road so that they can pass. It's strictly a man's spot. The steaks are juicy, and the conversation even juicier. I stop in there once in a while myself to take on a little of Joe's home cooking and improve my vocabulary, like tonight.
All right. They're still alive.
Oh, how many hands you think I got? Like enough to push.
I grabbed a stool at the counter and waited for Joe to catch up with me. Joe, scrambled eggs when you get to it.
I'll be with you in a minute, Mr. Stone.
Fried and butter, Joe. Lots of butter.
How else?
Good. I'm starved.
9 o'clock. You ain't had your supper yet?
No, that's breakfast. I'm just starting out.
Oh. You're as bad as one of these truck drivers. Here, this'll hold you.
Joe banged a cup of coffee on the counter in front of me, and then it happened. It was a desperate shriek of brakes and a terrific crash out on the highway. In 5 seconds, a dozen men were on their feet racing for the door. Holy mackerel, call the cops, Joe. Tell them to send an ambulance. It was almost a quarter of a mile away, but long before I got there, I could make out the shape of a big semi-trailer truck and jammed into its rear end a brand-new sedan. We still had about 100 yards to go when the truck roared up and started pulling itself loose from the wrecked car. Get his license number, somebody! But the guy on the truck hadn't put his lights on, and he pulled away before anyone could get close enough. The sedan was there over on one side, and it was a mess. The boys got the car right side up and dragged the driver out. He was soused to the gills. In a little while, the cops were there working him over. And then I saw this other guy over by the ditch across the road. Hey, you all right?
Run out on me. Run out.
Who ran out on you? Are you hurt?
Look, mister, I gotta get away from here.
I see you were in the truck.
Yeah, I was in the truck. Look, I gotta see a doctor. This hand of mine.
Cops will take care of it for you until the ambulance gets here.
I don't need no ambulance.
Here's another one over here, Sergeant.
Okay.
I tell you, I can make it okay.
Well, hello, Stone. How did you get here? Fly?
Oh, hi, Sarge.
This fellow in the wreck?
He was in the truck.
Yeah? What's your name?
Harry Waldo.
Driver's helper?
No, I just bummed a ride. The guy gave me a ride about 100 miles back.
Where do you live?
Here, Chicago.
You get the license number of the truck?
No, I didn't pay no attention.
What was the driver's name, Waldo?
Well, I didn't ask him.
Well, who was he driving for? Was there a sign on the truck?
No, it was dark when he picked me up. I didn't notice.
What was he hauling?
What should I know? I just bummed a ride. Say, who is this guy, officer? Do I have to answer his questions?
It won't hurt any.
Was it a refrigerated truck?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's the first thing you seem sure of. How come?
Oh, it was kind of all beat up, and... Well, it just didn't seem like no icebox, that's all.
This guy's trying to play hide-and-go-seek with you, Sergeant. That truck was a cooler, and he knows it.
How come you're so sure?
Ammonia gas. Can't you smell it? It's all over the place, including your overalls. Hose connection must have broken in the crack-up.
Look, wise guy, whoever you are...
Randy Stone, Chicago Star.
This officer wasn't
Come on. None of that now.
Okay. I'm in the truck. There's a crash, and I get out to see what hit us. And while I'm on the ground, a truck driver pulls out on me. So what does that make me, a suspect in a murder case, or just paperboy just looking for a story?
Oh, sure. I'm always looking for a story. Brother, this sure has the makings of one. A fish story. The sergeant got a few more vital statistics on Harry Waldo and then let him go with the usual business about keeping in touch in case the police wanted him for further questioning. After the mob cleared, I went over the area again in the dark. There was nothing. In the ditch, I noticed a battered-up wooden box, the kind they ship butter in. There was nothing there. So I went back into Joe's and phoned the story into my paper. I told the city desk where I could be reached, and then I got busy on that much-delayed order of scrambled eggs. Oh, they're good, Joe.
Hey, the others got cold. I made them fresh. Lots of butter, the way you like.
Thanks, Joe.
You know, I can't get over that truck running out on the crash. What do you want to do that for? Must have known it wasn't his fault.
Well, who knows, Joe? Maybe he had a date.
Yeah.
Hello? Joe's Diner. Joe's talking. Yeah. Hold on.
It's for you, Mr. Stone. Take it in the boot.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Andy, this is Mac on the desk.
Oh, well, that figures.
On that crash story you phoned in, is that all you can give us?
What else do you want?
How about the truck? What was it hauling?
I'm sorry, Mac. All I know is what I phoned in.
Did you ask around?
Well, of course I asked. Nobody knows. If you'd like to send out one of your better men for a follow-up...
Funny stuff, Randy. Could a truck have been hauling butter.
Butter? Why?
Something came in on the wires this afternoon. I thought we could tie it in with the truck running out.
How?
I'll read it to you. It's date line Emerson, Manitoba, Canada. This city, hard hit by recent floods, reports theft of 21 tons of contaminated butter, which was being removed from the Ajax Creamery for disposal.
Contaminated?
The condemned butter, bearing the trade name of Dandy D, had been submerged for 3 weeks in stagnant sewage water because of recent flood conditions. Health authorities have expressed fears the butter may become the cause of a widespread typhoid epidemic.
Typhoid?
You think there could be any connection, Randy?
20 tons of typhoid fever in Chicago?
It makes sense, Randy. It's only a little over 900 miles from the border, 2 days by fast truck. And it's a cinch they'd have a tough time getting rid of it any closer. Randy, you still there?
Yeah. I'm not feeling so good, but I'm here.
What's the matter with you?
Just feeling that I'm on the verge of a story, one that I can do without. I ran back out to the ditch where I'd seen the wooden box. It was there all right. My heart sank when I lit a match and read the words, #1 Creamery Butter, Canada. Then I kicked the box over and saw a couple of greasy packages. There was some sort of a wrapping on them. When I read the words Dandy D, I began feeling bugs crawling down my throat. I went back to Joe's and got all the newspaper I could find and a pair of cotton gloves to boot. Then I picked up the box, put it in my car, and drove down to the store. Mac's eyes popped through his glasses when he saw it. He got some Board of Health official out of bed and gave him the story over the phone. By the time we were through taking pictures, they had a crew of experts there to haul the stuff down to the lab for analysis. In the meantime, I helped Mac fix up a spread for the morning paper in the biggest, blackest type we had.
Well, does that make you feel any better, Randy?
That sure does. That warning ought to make a suspect out of every pound of butter in town. Nobody could possibly buy the stuff now. They'll have to ditch it.
Randy, there's over $10,000 worth of butter on that truck. Typhoid or no typhoid, those guys are going to try to sell it.
But how can they?
No trick to change the wrapper. Only one way to stop them. Find the truck.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell them that down at police headquarters.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
All right.
Close that door. City desk. Yeah, Mac talking. Oh, you did? You sure? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do all we can. Yeah, thanks for calling.
Who was it?
On your way down to police headquarters, Randy, you can take a little time out to pray. That was the lab man from the Board of Health.
Well, what was the verdict?
That butter is crawling with pestilence and death.
Typhoid?
Pestilence and death. Those were his exact words.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. The NBC chimes are laughing, but they're not keeping the reason a secret. They want everyone to know they're laughing in anticipation of the mad and merry antics in store with two NBC fall favorites, Bob Hope and Groucho Marx. Hope returns to the air over most of these stations on Tuesday evening, October 3rd, just 1 week from tomorrow. Groucho Marx brings his laugh-filled quiz game You Bet Your Life to NBC beginning Wednesday, October 4th. Listen when you hear the three chimes for laughs and more laughs with Bob Hope on October 3rd and Groucho Marx on October 4th. And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
At first, the police treated the typhoid butter story like it was a circulation builder for the Star. But bad news travels fast, and by the time I got in to see Police Chief Captain Sorensen, he'd heard all about it. He was a very worried man.
Hello, Randy. Come down to help me word my resignation?
Oh, it's that bad, huh?
Haven't got a thing.
What about that Waldo fellow who was on the truck? Have you picked him up?
He forgot to arrive home after the accident.
Well, that truck's got to hold up someplace.
I've set up roadblocks. I've sent out patrols. There's not a back alley in this city that won't be searched tonight. But we still have no real description of the truck.
Well, have you checked all cold storages and creameries?
First thing, nothing's come in.
You know, Mac thinks they may change the wrappers on the butter. Maybe if you call the printers.
No good, Randy. You can buy wax butter wrappers in any paper supply house. This thing has been pretty well thought out.
Well, no use my adding to the confusion around here. I mind if I go down to this Waldo's place and have a look around?
Of course not. It's a boarding house over on St. Mary's Avenue. But look out for the old lady who runs the place. She'll talk you into a corner and keep you there.
Don't worry about me, Captain. With little old ladies, I come out fighting all the time. It was 11:30 when I pulled up in front of Harry Waldo's address. It was one of those sad-looking houses that seemed to be held together by memories of what they used to be 40 years ago. Now there was a sign in front that read, Furnished Rooms, Mrs. Angela Barr. I rang and waited. Someone had drawn the curtains apart a little and was giving me the once-over.
Yes,
Mrs. Barr,
yes. What is it?
can you open the door, please? It's urgent.
Goodness gracious, you police are the most persistent.
I'm not with the police, Mrs. Barr.
Not with the police. But you must be. They've been coming and going all night long.
No. I'm a newspaper reporter on the Star. My name is
A
Brent.
newspaper reporter. What a pleasant surprise. I declare I'm so excited. You must come in the kitchen and I'll make a cup of coffee.
No, thanks very much. You're very kind, but I really
What
must...
did you say your name was?
Stone, Randy Stone.
Oh, yes, of course. You sure you wouldn't like some coffee?
No, nothing, thank you.
Oh, goodness, she's awake. It's all right, Nancy. It's just a visitor. Go back to sleep, dear.
Is Mommy home? I'm scared.
Now, there's nothing to be afraid of. Your mother will be home in a little while. Just go back to sleep like a good girl.
All right.
That's quite a cough.
Yes, the child has had such a cold. Poor Ellen is worried sick about her.
Ellen?
Her mother, Ellen Spencer. She's one of my tenants.
Oh, yes. Look, Mrs. Barr, I wanted to ask you some questions about another of your tenants.
Oh, yes. Mr. Waldo. The police have been bothering me all night. Whatever has he done? The police wouldn't tell me.
Well, he's done plenty. He's stolen a truckload of butter from the flood area up north.
Stolen?
Well, that's not all. That butter is contaminated with typhoid. If it ever gets into circulation, we'll...
Oh, how dreadful. How very dreadful.
Mrs. Barr, I have a favor to ask.
Now, how could I possibly do you a favor, Mr. Stone?
I'd like to have a look at Mr. Waldo's room.
But the police have already been through his room.
Yes, I know, but you know how it is when you've got to write a story. There's nothing like seeing it firsthand.
But at this time of night, do I have to let you in?
Well, legally, no.
Well, then,
You mean you refuse?
not exactly. Only surely a rich and powerful paper like the Star. Now that Mr. Waldo has disappeared, I'm sure I'll never get the rent he owes me.
Yes, I see. Now, how much?
Oh, dear. Money is so hard to come by when you're old and alone. Now, if I had the $50, Mr. Waldo...
It's
owed
worth
me,
10.
So little.
Oh.
Oh, but then you're such a nice young man. And I do enjoy your newspaper so much. I'll take it.
Her bright little eyes glistened as she took the 10 spot. Well, I guess it's like that when you're old. You can't eat too well. You can't sleep too well. You see life slipping by, but a 10 spot is something you can smooth out, put away, and look at again and again. Mrs. Barr followed me around as I went through Waldo's room. For a change, she had very little to say. I opened the drawers in his dresser. I looked under the bed. The kid in the next room was coughing again. I opened the closet door, and the smell that hit me was sharply familiar. Ammonia. In the corner, I picked up a pair of overalls that were saturated with the stuff. My friend Waldo had been home and changed. The phone downstairs started to ring.
Oh, dear, the telephone.
Want me to get down and answer it?
No, it's probably Ellen. She's so worried about the child. Will you come down now?
Just another minute.
Oh, dear. You won't be long.
I'd like to borrow these overalls if it's all right. Probably covered with germs.
Hello.
Wow, hello.
What are you doing in Mr. Waldo's room? Are you a burglar?
No, of course not. I'm one of Mr. Waldo's friends.
Then can you tell me when my Uncle Jim is coming back? He was going to bring me something from his trip.
Well, that's nice. Where did Uncle Jim go?
He went away with Mr. Waldo in the truck. But Mr. Waldo is back and not Uncle Jim.
Oh, does he drive a truck, your Uncle Jim?
He doesn't drive it. He owns it. And he gives me a ride in it, too.
Mm-hmm. Your Uncle Jim live here?
Oh, yes. Uncle Jim is my really real uncle. He and my mommy are brothers.
Oh, yes, I see.
Nancy, you naughty child.
Mrs. Barr.
The idea of getting out of bed.
I heard a noise.
Back to bed with you, child. That was your mother on the phone.
All right, Mrs. Barr. Good night, Mr. Burglar.
Good night, Nancy.
Imagine that child leaving her bed. Was she with you long, Mr. Stone?
Oh, no, she just told me she had an Uncle Jim.
Oh, yes. That's Ellen's brother. He's one of my other roomers.
I understand he owns a truck.
He's someplace in Ohio now, I believe. Been gone almost a month.
Couldn't have been Canada.
Questions. You'll simply have to excuse me. I must give that child her medicine. Good night, Mr. Stone.
I'd used up my $10 worth of welcome, so I drove over to police headquarters and filled in Captain Sorensen on Harry Waldo's overalls and little Nancy's Uncle Jim. It was his first lead. He called motor vehicles and ordered a fast check on the truck owned by Jim Spencer, and then he started briefing me on the more recent developments.
The city's in a panic, Randy. Warnings have been going out on the radio every 15 minutes. We've been flooded with calls from the mayor down.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone with a gut ache is sure it's typhoid and wants us to send down a doctor. Come in.
Here's the dope on the truck, Captain.
Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Broadcast this and keep repeating it every half hour. Get it?
Yes, sir.
We'll get him now.
You might try and sound a little more convincing. I left Sorensen chewing his upper lip. Then I headed for the Blue Angel and a little talk with Jim Spencer's sister, Ellen. The Blue Angel wasn't meant to lure the better-class citizen away from his hearth and home. It smelled of stale beer and looked as if it were being lit by half a dozen fireflies.
You'll find your happiness lies right under your eyes, back in your own backyard.
I found an empty booth and asked the waitress if Ellen Spencer worked there, and after a while a girl came over. She was attractive in a tired sort of way.
You asked for me?
Will you sit down, Ellen? I've got to talk to you.
I brought you some drinks. It's the rules here. If we sit with a customer, they gotta buy us drinks.
That's okay.
What'd you want?
To talk.
What about?
Your brother Jim.
You a cop?
No.
What about Jim?
Where is he?
I don't know. What business is it of yours?
When did your brother and Harry Waldo leave on their last trip?
A week ago.
Mrs. Barr said Jim was in Ohio.
That old hag. She's in his second childhood.
Mm-hmm. Jim hasn't phoned you tonight?
No. What's all the noise about, anyway? The kid gets scared and runs out in a traffic accident, so they'll catch him and give him 30 days. He'll be back.
Who told you about it?
Heard it over the radio.
Really? How did you know it was Jim?
Well,
You spoke to Harry.
Yeah. He phoned me to tell me Jim was all right.
Did he tell you they were hauling a load of stolen butter? Did you listen to the warnings over the radio about that butter? It's loaded with typhoid, that stuff is.
Oh, that's a lie. Just a smart police gag to get the butter back.
Harry tell you that, too? We got some of that butter, Ellen. It's been soaked in sewer bilge for a month.
Jim wouldn't touch anything like that. He's a good kid.
Maybe Jim thinks it's a gag, too. Might even get to eat some of the stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look, mister, I'd better go back to work.
Ellen, you want it on a...
I'll have to leave now.
If you hear from Jim, tell him what he's up against.
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
And tell him to wash his hands. Good. I followed her to the phone booth or whatever the call was. It was brief. She hung right up, so I went outside, watched her through the door. In a few minutes, she came out wearing a coat. I slipped around the corner, watched her climb into a cab. I jumped into my car and followed. The cab stopped in front of her house. I parked my car half a block away, waited until all the lights went off, and then I got out and walked around to the back of the house. Somewhere inside were the directions to that missing butter. It was easy raising one of the kitchen windows. I climbed in. I stood for a minute, getting used to the dark. And then suddenly a switch flicked on, and the place was flooded with light. Randy Stone, Esquire, standing there, stupidly blinking his eyes. Ellen walked a few steps toward me. She didn't scream. She didn't holler.
Isn't this carrying your job a little too far?
I knocked on the door, but nobody answered, so I turned the knob.
Well, turn it again and get out.
Somebody phoned you just before I left the Blue Angel. Was that Jim?
That's none of your business. Now get out.
If I go, Ellen, the place will be swarming with police in 15 minutes.
What do you mean?
Just this. You know where Jim is. If you won't tell me, you'll have to tell the cops. And when you do, you'll be involved. They'll make you an accessory.
Well, let him.
Where's the old lady?
Out for a drive.
At 1:30 in the morning?
She's the one who phoned me. She said she was going batty with cops hanging around. She had to get out of the house.
Ellen, for the last time, where's Jim?
I told you before, I don't know.
They're closing in on him. You'll be doing him a favor if they get him before he's sold any of that stuff.
Oh, are you still working that typhoid gag?
It's no gag, believe me. You want the lab report on it?
No.
All right, then listen to it this way. Maybe you'll understand it. The kid sits down to eat, and his mother hands him a piece of bread and butter, only it's not butter. Something that's been lying around in the filthy sewer water for a long time. 10 or 11 days, the kid gets sick, like your kid. He's burning with fever one minute, and the next minute he's as cold as ice. His tongue is thick, and his guts feel like they're bursting. That's what typhoid is like.
Stop it, will you?
If a good doctor gets to him, the kid may live. Lots of kids may not be that lucky, Ellen. Also, you can keep your kid brother out of jail.
Look, I don't know where he is.
When did you talk to Walt?
He phoned me at the club. He laughed about that typhoid
Where
stuff.
did he phone
I
from?
don't know. Someplace in town. Now, let me alone.
Would that be
I'll
him?
take that.
No, you won't. Ellen made a grab for the phone, but I beat her to it. She clawed at me. I had to get rough, but I got the receiver. Hello.
This is the long-distance operator.
Yes?
On your call to Elwood, we are unable to contact Mr. Jim Spencer. Shall we continue to try?
No, thank you. Was that Elwood?
Yes, sir. Elwood, Illinois. Thank you, sir.
That was it, so they'd gone on to Elwood. I called Captain Sorensen. He picked me up in a squad car with 2 of his best men. It was a 70-mile ride to Elwood, and we made it in a little over an hour. It was after 3 a.m. when the clerk at the only hotel in town showed us his register. There was no Waldo and no Spencer. Then Sorensen got a bright idea. He asked the clerk if there was a creamery in town. There wasn't. No cold storage plant either. Just old Mayor Hoskins' ice house down the road. We jumped into a car and drove over. That's nothing but an old barn.
Oh, there's a light around the back.
Randy, you come with me. You two cut around the other side of the building.
Right.
Oh, there's the truck. You see it?
Yeah.
All right, give me a lift, Captain. I'll see if I can get a look in through the window. It's Waldo.
They got the butter?
Yep. There's the other one. That must be Spencer.
Get down. We'll take them now. All right, Spencer, get him up.
Jim, the law.
Those hands up, Spencer. You're covered.
You too, Waldo. Don't try anything.
Who's trying anything?
Hold it, Captain. Hold it. Somebody else is coming.
Kill the lights. Don't make a sound, you two, if you want to live.
We pulled the big door shut, flicked off the lights, and waited in the dark. Guns pressed into Waldo and Spencer. A car had pulled up outside. Whoever it was seemed to be having a time with the door, and then finally it opened and the lights went out. Mrs. Barr.
Oh, goodness. How you startled me. Why, it's Mr. Stone. Have you been waiting long? And here I thought my lazy boys had gone to sleep.
No, they haven't.
And I suppose Harry Waldo has told you all about me. I just know he did.
Well, not everything. That is, not yet, he hasn't.
I just knew that boy had no character. And now I suppose you want to take me back to the city. But I hate Chicago in June. I don't think I'll go with you. Don't come any closer.
Drop it, lady. Okay, Mother. Randy, get the gun.
Yep.
Lady, don't you know these things explode?
Now, wasn't that foolish of me? I was going to try to get away. But where could I have gone? Where could an old lady go and hide? I do believe I'm getting senile. Isn't that a horrible word, Mr. Stone?
Mrs. Barr, this is no joking matter. Don't you understand that butter could have caused an epidemic?
Why, of course. Isn't it terrible?
Yet you were willing to sell it?
You didn't think I was going to eat it myself, did you? It was all I could do to look at the horrible stuff. But $10,000. That's such a lot of money to a poor old lady. Such a lot of money.
10 a.m. and it's all buttoned up. Oh, brother, what a nightmare if a thing like that had ever happened. And all from ignorance and greed. What's that old wheeze about money being the root of all evil? Well, it's not just money. There's got to be a touch of insanity sprinkled in along with it. Like that poor old lady. Poor, When the cops ran a make on her, they uncovered a fascinating record of over 50 years of criminal history, not to mention a dozen bank accounts. Guess she didn't trust banks any too much. Such a sweet old doll. Well, at least I got to see the sun come up this morning while we were driving back, climbing up into the sky like a great big yellow ball of butter. Oh, no, what am I saying? Copy, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis and edited by Larry Marcus. Tonight's story was written by Lou Rusoff and Russell Bender with music by Frank Worth. The part of Harry was played by Don Diamond. Jane Morgan was Mrs. Barr. Others in tonight's cast were Joan Banks, Nestor Paiva, Peter Leeds, Ann Whitfield, and Tudor Owen. Frank Lovejoy may currently be seen in Milton Sperling's production Three Secrets, released by Warner Brothers. And now, here again is the star of our program, Frank Lovejoy.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, here's important news about Night Beat. Next week, we're moving to Friday evenings over most of these stations. That's beginning 1 week from this Friday. On October 6th, you'll hear Night Beat at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. So would you listen then to our next adventure 11 days from tonight? I'll see you on Friday, October 6th. Good night.
Listen on Friday, October 6th, and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. Night Beat came to you from Hollywood. Three chimes mean good times on NBC. Friday, October 6th, means the return of Chester A. Riley, played by William Bendix, in the hilarious The Life of Riley. Mom, Babs, Junior, Digger Odell, and the entire cast will be on hand to join in the fun. Saturday, October 7th, is the day when Dennis Day and Judy Canova will be back on the air. Make a listening date now. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Tonight, Night Beat returns to the air for a special broadcast honoring the men and women of the working press, who day in and day out find and write the newspaper stories that keep us informed and entertained. And so, to them, this special Night Beat salute. Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began in a nightclub with jazz music and laughter and ended in a church with organ music and death.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
On my job, you sort of come to terms with the night. You have to, because that's where you learn the lessons of the day. Lesson 1, the night is for sorrow, the day, regret. Lesson 2, you can't hide in the darkness, for the night has 1,000 eyes. Lesson 3 to 100, don't go looking for the dawn with a gun, because it might come up like thunder and leave you dead on the doorstep. Sob stories fill the night. Unhappy love affairs, girls gone astray, bookkeepers who stole from their tills, men who died drunk and friendless. Last night I decided to pass them up and stroll under the bright lights and listen to laughter. So I picked out a couple of fancy bistros on the Gold Coast and started the rounds to watch champagne flow and eavesdrop on the happy stories of success, promotion, love, and friendship. But it didn't work. Like an iron filing, I was drawn to the magnet of unhappiness. It happened in the Pelican Club. He was sitting alone. Tall, gray-haired, rugged, a face full of some 50-odd years, I guessed, and full of some other things no one could guess. There were 3 drinks at the bar before I made out who he was. A man who was once big in a way that only prohibition made them big. Mind if I sit down?
Who are you?
Randy Stone, Chicago Star, Mr. McMasters.
Well, you're the first one.
What first one?
Who's recognized me?
Oh. Well, only from your pictures. It was a long time ago.
Time? I know more about time than you or that old guy they always have around on New Year's with the beard and the hay cutter.
I just thought there might be a story somewhere.
Sure. Sit down. I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a guy who had everything. Money, friends, a future. Then a bunch of old women made a law called the Volstead Act. You remember it?
Yeah, but I wasn't thirsty at the time.
Well, a lot of people were. Everybody, in fact. You see, the law was always supposed to be for the other guy, not for them. But there were no other guys. So this fella I'm telling you about got on the bandwagon. He bottled millions of violations of the Volstead Act, made a lot of money, and a lot of trouble. Am I boring you?
If you are, I asked for it, but you're not.
Well, the trouble got him a lot of jail. 19 years old. Started in 1931, ended just 2 days ago.
I see.
Now this guy's out, and he's going to stay clean. And they can pass 1,000 stupid laws, and he's not going to fall for any of them. He's going to do everything the way it says in the books and live happily ever after. How's that for a story?
There's a good moral, but no drama, no suspense.
Good. I hope it's real bad because I don't want you to print it. Stone, I'm flattered that you recognize me, but I paid back 10 days for every one I took. All I ask is that you just let me alone in the papers.
Okay, McMaster. As far as I'm concerned, you made your last copy in 1931.
Stone, it's nice to come out of prison and have the first guy you meet turn out like you. Let me buy you a drink.
He tried to be happy and gay after that, and I tried to help him. But there was a sadness about him that stood in the way. I wanted to ask more questions about times and places, but I didn't. Why is it when you come across the best stories, you fall all over your conscience? I know I couldn't print anything about John McMasters, yet I was still thinking about him an hour later at police headquarters while batting the breeze with Lieutenant Curly White. The lieutenant was on his way out to cover a hotel shooting, and I went with him. It was a showy place with glass doors and ebony handrails. The night manager was staining his alpaca jacket with nervous sweat.
Please be as quiet as possible. I don't want it to sound like an Elks convention in here.
Just tell us what happened. We'll pussyfoot through our business.
I don't know where to begin exactly. Somebody phoned down. It happened on the 5th floor. Said there was a shooting, so I went up there, but I couldn't hear any shooting or see any.
You really can after it's over.
That's rather obvious. What I meant
Just tell us, was there a shooting or wasn't there?
Well, did you think I'd call you men all the way out here if there wasn't? You think I'm a crank or something? That I like to have loud policemen stamping through the lobby exciting...
Where was it?
Where was what?
Look, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer in a single declarative English sentence. Now, you ready?
Now, look here, I'm not a child, and you mustn't treat me like one.
Where was the shooting?
In room 521.
All right. Come on, man.
Well, don't you want to know who it was?
Who?
A man named John McMasters.
We found McMasters lying on his bed. The rumpled silk counterpane was slowly changing from chartreuse to a bright crimson. 2 bullets had ripped ragged holes in him through flesh and bone. His face was a shade paler and a line sadder. But when Lieutenant White questioned him, he was just as self-contained as ever.
Hello, John. Been a long time.
Yeah, Curly. You were just a flatfoot then.
I was only the small fire department. You were strictly stumped for the commissioner.
He did a good job.
Yeah. How'd it happen, John?
This? Cleaning my gun.
You lose it, John. You're not supposed to have a gun.
Oh, you know me and the law, Curly. We sometimes didn't hit it off.
Where is the gun?
I swallowed it.
You don't want to say, huh?
No, I don't want to say.
Yeah, I don't know what makes you guys like you are, but I know it won't do any good to try and beat it out of you. Hey, Doc.
Yeah?
Get the ambulance ready. We'll take him to the police hospital.
No, you don't, Lieutenant. I've served my time and I'm clean. Being shot at even in this state doesn't make you a criminal. Now take me to a general hospital.
John, I can get a warrant.
And when you get it, come and see me. Bring me some ice cream, Lieutenant. I've always liked ice cream. English coffee, huh?
I didn't have a chance to exchange a word with McMaster, so I followed him to the hospital. They put him in a room. While I was waiting for them to set up an emergency operation to take the bullets out of him, Lieutenant White let me slip in alone for a couple of minutes.
Well, Scribe, you got yourself a story after all, didn't you?
Well, not much of one, McMasters. A good reporter should find out a lot more, like who shot you and why.
Oh. Well, I shot myself. And just for something to do.
Look, McMasters, I'm not as old as you or as informed in the ways of crime, but I have a fair idea of how tough it is to come out of prison and start all over. I want you to know I'd be willing to help you if there's any place that you need help within the law.
Just to get a story?
I have a job that says I'm supposed to bring in stories, sure, but that isn't what I mean.
Stone, it's just the way I said earlier tonight. It's a pleasure to meet someone like you. And if there was anything I could tell you or any way you could help me, you'd be the first to know. Let's put it this way. I have nothing to say to you now. Come and see me tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a story for you then.
Sisters was a riddle. His way of life, his long prison term, had equipped him with a certain stoicism that was almost impossible to penetrate. I could only stand and wait, at least I thought so at the moment. Lieutenant White was standing in the corridor when I came out.
Find out anything, Randy?
Nothing, Curly.
Now, look, Randy, you're not pulling professional immunity on me, are you?
I'm telling you the truth, Lieutenant.
Say, do me a favor. Hold my badge and my ID card.
Now, what's this for?
Well, I'm carrying those. I'm a policeman. When I don't have them, I'm just a citizen. Now, this isn't for print, but in that room, on that bed, there lies quite a man.
You couldn't fight it. Everyone who had contact with John McMasters felt the same way. Despite his background, despite his code, despite his record, there was quite a man. It occurred to me I should know more about him, so I went back to the Star offices and poked around on the morgue file. Its folder started 1912 and was fat with yellowed clippings all the way through 1931. The clippings didn't mention a family or much else except a lawyer associate, a man named Julian Glass. When I found out all I could from the clippings, I went back to his hotel to see if I could wangle another once-over of McMaster's room.
No, I'm sorry. Reporter or not, it simply can't be done. The police left explicit orders.
Yes, I know, but is there anything you need these days, like a new sport coat or a couple of golf clubs?
Mr. Stone, do I look corruptible?
Well...
Excuse me. Yes, madam, what did you want?
Mr. McMaster's room, please.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Mr. McMasters was taken to the hospital shortly ago.
What happened to him?
Somebody shot him.
He's still alive?
I wouldn't know. Why don't you call...
Oh, pardon me, ma'am. I can tell you about John McMasters.
Who are you?
Mr. Stone is a reporter.
He is still alive at the county hospital, and as far as I know, he's under excellent care.
Thank you.
Would you mind telling me what your connection is with McMasters?
I have no connection. Goodbye.
Oh, just a minute. You must at least know him.
Young man, you either get out of my way or I'll call a policeman.
And she could do it, so I stepped aside and let her walk out of the hotel, but I followed not far behind her. She was middle-aged, gray-haired, and well-dressed, and she got into a good-looking car, and I got her number. Then I called one.
Lieutenant White.
Randy Stone, Lieutenant. Can you give me a rundown on the license number?
Oh, no, not this. The files are all locked.
But you know where the key is. How about it?
Oh, what's it for? Can't it go until tomorrow?
It's for a story I'm working on. If you help me tonight, maybe I'll help you someday.
What would your reporters do without us? All right, give it to me.
It's Illinois 1375996.
Illinois 1375996. All right. Call back later, Stone.
I knew it would take some time for White to run it down, so I made my way back to County Hospital for a checkup on McMaster's condition. The reception desk seemed reluctant to talk about him and referred me to the head nurse, who sent me to the surgical OD, who took me to the chief doctor. He told me to look into a crystal ball.
He's gone. We have no idea where.
How could he be gone?
We started to give him a transfusion. He jumped up suddenly, knocked down 2 male nurses, grabbed his pants, and ran out of the hospital. Simple as that.
I thought he was in a critical condition.
He was. Now he's in mortal danger. Running around town hemorrhaging from 2 bullet wounds. Well, I'd give him an hour, maybe 2 at the most to live. John McMasters is a walking dead man.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
Take it from me, cats aren't the only animals who have a corner on curiosity. Consider also the species Randostonus, reporter-type animal. The test? When the next big shot of the roaring 20s, minus a quarter two of blood from bullet wounds, walks out of a hospital bed in the middle of the night, reporter walks too. Well, call it curiosity or just say I liked what I'd seen of the guy. All I know is I didn't want Big John McMasters to bleed to death walking around town, so I went out looking for him. And because I thought he might go to a friend's, I looked up his only known friend, another man of the same period, Julian Glass, attorney at law. He lived not in a glass house, but in Cicero, in the crummier half of a yellow duplex.
Young man, the drugstore delivers what I need most. The telegraph office, what I dread most. Obviously, you represent neither concern, and therefore you are no concern of mine.
Now, wait a minute. Are you Mr. Glass?
I am he, and I am drunk and disheveled, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'd like to talk with you. May I come in?
You may not.
This isn't exactly the hour for making calls, but I did stop by and pick up something to take the edge off.
Eh?
It's bonded.
Oh, inside.
Thanks.
Your apology.
There you are, Mr. Glass.
Ah. Now then, we'll make a bargain. As long as this lasts, you will last. Speak.
I'm looking for a man.
The entire world is looking for a man. Just one man. A man they so blindly presume who will break off these shackles that bind us and lead us forth into eternal justice.
Yes, sure, but that's not the man I'm talking about. I'm a friend of John McMasters.
You? You come from that place? Signs are not on you. The pallor's not with you? No. Oh, you lied.
I didn't say that I was a convict. I'm a reporter. McMasters is out of prison.
I'm aware of that.
But did you know he was in an accident tonight, or he was attacked? I don't know which. Anyhow, he was shot, and an hour ago he left his hospital bed. I thought he might have come to you.
What made you think that?
You're the only man I know who might be his friend. Has he contacted you tonight?
He has not.
Is he here?
He is not.
Mr. Glass, if he isn't hospitalized soon, he'll die.
Why is the phenomena of death so persistently alarming? So he'll die. They all die, usually from a bullet.
Well, Mr. Glass...
You've impressed me with the urgency of his situation. But John McMasters is not here, nor has he been here, nor has he contacted me.
Well, I was just trying. I believe you.
Your concern for him is a distressing irritation. What's the reason for it?
As I said, I'm his friend. I like him. I think he deserves to live.
You? His friend? Now, his friends, for the most part, are gone like the years, like Homburg hats and the Charleston and Lime Ricky. Ones who are left are broken and tired with old faces, faces like mine, like his, and they should be gone, too. Another age is here.
Are you sure you're his friend?
I once thought so. He once thought so. But now, I haven't enough strength to be his friend.
Oh, Mr. Glass,
Hello, people. Who's your friend, Julie?
Mr. Glass to you.
All right, Mr. Glass. Now, tell me, who's this?
This is Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone, this is Mr. Engel, Marty Engel.
I'm an associate of Mr. Glass's. Mr. Stone, I haven't seen you around before. Obviously, you just met Mr. Glass. Or you'd never offer him a drink.
I wouldn't?
No. You see, I sort of look after Mr. Glass. We're old friends. I was his office boy once, then a notary public. And when I finally got my degree, I became his partner. More or less. Isn't that right, Mr. Glass?
Marty, you don't have to do this in front of Mr.
And
Stone.
since Mr. Glass has fallen on some bitter days, shall we say I've undertook to assist him. Perhaps I can help you?
I don't think so, Mr. Engel.
Then would you be good enough to leave?
Marty.
Shut up. Mr. Glass, give Mr. Stone his bottle. Go ahead. Here. There you are, Mr. Stone. You were just leaving, weren't you?
Julian Glass stood helplessly by watching. The look in his eyes held the same sort of sadness I'd seen in McMaster's eyes. But they were different, too. They held a weakness. The strong, sad eyes were somewhere else in the city, walking alone. And the lifeblood was slowly draining from the body that sparked them. I wanted to find McMaster's more than I wanted anything in my life, so I went to the only other source I knew, the license number that belonged to a gray-haired woman with a kind face. Lieutenant White had done his duty.
Randy, I shouldn't do this sort of thing.
Now, come on. Tell me about the license number.
Pleasure plates. Car owned by a pony named Constance Gardner, age 22, this city.
Address?
Lives in the 900 block at Sheridan Road.
What number?
Look it up yourself. I did what I'm not supposed to do already.
I drove out there with a feeling that I was racing death. I was in the 900 block right in back of the Shawnee County Club, a nice big colonial house in a nice neighborhood. The sky was beginning to quiver and shake off the blackness of night. I parked in front, wondering whether or not I should ring the bell, and then I saw a light in the back at the kitchen. Everybody seemed to be staying up that night.
Oh, come in. You must be the man from the floor.
No, I'm afraid not. My name is Randy Stone. I'm from the Chicago Star.
Oh, you reporters do work all hours. But we aren't being married until 7.
Are you Constance Gardner?
Yes, but you want to talk to Bob, not me. He's the one who's rich and famous. I'm nobody.
I think I want to talk to you, Miss Gardner.
Well, all right, Mr. Stone, but I have so many things to do this...
Hello, bride. Say good morning to your bride.
Bob, you shouldn't be here. It's bad luck or something. Oh, Mr. Stone, this is my fiancé, Bob Meredith. Bob, Mr. Stone's from the papers.
Hi. Mr. Stone, I want to interview you. Now, looking at her, wouldn't you say I'm the luckiest man in the world?
I'm glad to meet you, Meredith, and congratulations.
Thanks.
Constance, you simply must hurry. Why, Bob, what are you doing here? You know it's not right.
Mother, I want you to meet Mr. Stone. He's a reporter. Mr. Stone, this is my mother, Mrs. Gardner.
How do you do, Mr. Stone?
It was the same gray-haired woman I'd met in the hotel a few hours before, and I had to hand it to her. She looked right at me like she was meeting me for the first time. When we shook hands, hers was steady and firm, and her eyes didn't leave mine, but there was something in her look that pleaded, don't.
Mr. Stone, perhaps Mother can help you. Excuse us, please.
Surely.
I'll have to get rid of Bob and get some things done.
Why, of course.
So that's my cue. So long, Mr. Stone. Gonna cover this wedding?
Well, if I don't, one of the other boys will. Nice to meet you.
Bye.
You look like a real nice pair of kids, Mrs. Gardner.
They are. But I doubt if that means anything to you and your newspaper.
Well, you were trying to reach John McMaster's at his hotel tonight. You obviously have some connection with him. I don't care about that or the story that goes with it, Mrs. Gardner. I'm only looking for him. Is he here?
Of course not. He's in a hospital. You told me that yourself.
Well, he left the hospital. He walked out. He's wandering Chicago somewhere right now in a serious condition.
Oh, no.
He must have had a good reason for doing such a thing. I want to find him and take him back to the hospital. Now, Mrs. Gardner, if you know where he is or what he's doing, tell me. I only want to help. Please, he may be dying.
I believe you, Mr. Stone.
You have any idea where he could be?
There's something you should know. Something that shouldn't be written in the papers. Please. That lovely girl who just walked out of this room is John McMaster's daughter. In 1931, I adopted her and raised her as my own. No one knew about it. John promised he would never write us or bother us in any way, and he's kept his word.
But you were trying to see him tonight. Why?
2 days before he was released, a man came here. He said he knew Constance was not my real daughter. He said he wanted money to keep it quiet. He'd expose her.
Did you pay this man off?
No, I contacted John and told him. He said not to worry, that he'd take care of it.
He got shot tonight trying to take care of it, and he's out right now still taking care of it. Who was the man?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Stone. I never saw him before. He just said that John would know who he was.
Oh? Was he big, tall, short?
Oh, he'd been drinking heavily. It seemed cultured.
Julian Glass. A lawyer. He'd know about the trust fund and the adoption. He probably handled it all. Julian Glass was a drunkard, true, but he didn't strike me as a blackmailer. I was thinking of his friend, Marty Engle, as I drove out to Cicero as fast as I could. 3 squad cars were already there, and then I noticed with a sinking heart that a hearse was also there. I was too late. The milkman filled in the details.
It was awful. It happened so fast.
Suppose you tell it fast.
I'm delivering my milk when I see this tall guy with a gray hair come staggering up to the steps, sort of pale. He pounds on this door here.
Mr. Glasses?
That's right. A young guy with a briefcase opens the door. The police say his name is Marty Engle.
Yeah, go on.
The young guy, sort of wise-like, says, "Hello, you come to pay off, huh?" And the big guy says, "Yeah, Marty." And he opens up and Engle goes down. But he ain't dead yet. And then Julian Glass reels into the picture, and he falls in front of Engle's gun, just as he pointed at the other guy. Glass stops 2 slugs, and he goes down.
Then what?
The big guy finishes off Engle. Then he goes over and looks at Glass. He sort of sighs, maybe a tear, and then he walks out.
You try to stop him?
You think I'm nuts? With 2 guys dead already? It was terrible. Terrible. I need myself a drink. That's what I need. I need myself a drink. And I don't mean milk.
It was pretty obvious that Julian Glass did have the strength to be John McMaster's friend after all. He died for him. The police had already thrown a cordon around the neighborhood for the man 3 witnesses had described as the killer of Marty Engle. As for me, I got out of talking distance right away. It was easy to see it had taken McMaster's half the night and most of his strength to get to Marty Engle, but I was certain he still had some strength left. The sun was up by the time I drove out past Evanston, around the lake, into Wilmette, and stopped at St. Vincent's Church. The ceremony was just about over. I stood in the back as Constance Gardner and Robert Meredith were made man and wife.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, I now pronounce you man and wife.
They turned around and started down the aisle. That was when I noticed the tall, gray-haired man leaning quietly against the door.
Hello, Stone. What are you doing here?
Covering your daughter's wedding, McMasters.
I knew you were a smart guy, and that you'd find out about everything.
They don't like murder in this state, no matter what the reason.
Marty Engle was trying to buy that kid of mine out of her life. He found out who she was when he worked for Julie Glass. I had to stop him. Poor Julie. He did all he could, but...
I'd better get you to a hospital.
No, I want to... Stone, hold me up. Don't let me fall right here and ruin a wedding.
Thank you.
Hold me up, please.
Sure.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Oh, Bob, there's Mr. Stone.
Oh, yes. Hello, Stone. Thanks for covering it yourself.
You can tell all of your readers I'm the happiest bride in the world. And quote me, please.
I'll do that.
Oh, Mr. Stone, do I know your friend? He seems familiar.
No, you didn't know me at all. I'm sort of an associate of Mr. Stone's. I was glad I could be at your wedding.
Oh, I'm glad, too.
Hey, we've got to go now.
Bye.
Well, I told you you'd have a story this morning, Randy. You're going to print it?
Nope.
Thanks, Stone. Like I said, you're the kind of a guy I'm glad to meet.
Big John McMasters died in a taxicab on the way to the hospital. And there's no maybe about whether it was better that way or not. So I'm writing a story. It's all about laws that made criminals and laws that made them not criminals. It's kind of a wandering piece of copy that doesn't really get anywhere and never really solves anything. But it doesn't mention any names because I don't think that'd solve anything either. Maybe Julian Glass was right when he said they're all gone now, and the ones who are left are broken and tired with old faces, and they should be gone too. I wonder what he'd have to say now that he's gone with them. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis. Tonight's story was written by John Michael Hayes and E. Jack Newman, with music by Frank Worth. John McMasters was played by Bill Conrad. Frank Lovejoy may soon be seen in Warner Brothers' I Was a Communist for the FBI. And now here again is our star, Frank Lovejoy.
Someone once said, a guy meets so many interesting people in the newspaper business, and somehow they all turn out to be newspapermen. Well, in portraying a reporter on Night Beat, I've met my share of the press, and I'd like to double that quotation in spades. Tonight, I want to congratulate the new president of the National Press Club, Carson F. Lyman, and salute Frank Rogers, Washington correspondent of the Los Angeles Daily News, who was elected secretary of that organization. They're a great bunch of folks, these guys and gals of the working press, and I'm proud to be permitted to portray one of them. Good night.
Night Beat came to you from Hollywood. In 30 seconds, hear Marlene Dietrich in A Foreign Affair on NBC. NBC presents transcribed Frank Lovejoy in Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. My day begins when yours ends. When we trade in the sun for the yellow incandescence and the ruby neons. And when a different kind of people come out and prowl the night to make a buck or get their kicks. Yeah, a different kind of people, because the nighttime, the darkness exposes them. Funny that in the dark they have no cover. What you see is a little more naked, a little more honest. One of the reasons I prefer the night. So my day began as usual about 8:30 p.m. I walked up the steps of the Star and into the city room. There were 2 telephone messages on my desk from a Corporal Bennett, and they said, please call Hines Hospital. That's the Army hospital. One stamped at 11:35 a.m. and the other at 7:40 this evening. Please call.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Stone.
Oh, yeah, I'll read you.
What can I do for you, Corporal?
Well, it's not for me, Mr. Stone. It's for a buddy of mine. He just got out of the hospital today.
Well, that sounds good.
No, he's in trouble. Inside his head. He's out now on a 30-day furlough before they discharge him, and,
Well, what can I do for him, Corporal?
Well, talk to him. You see, he's been reading your column, so have I. I think you might be able to help straighten him out.
Oh, this is his hometown?
Yeah, but he's all alone. He hasn't got anybody. Name is Perrin. Bill Perrin. He'll be in Civvies.
Where?
Well, I spoke to him about 15 minutes ago. He called from a bar on State Street, a hideaway club. Look, Mr. Stone, he's a buddy. I'm worried.
All right, I'll check.
He's all mixed up, Mr. Stone. Please go easy with him, huh?
What was he in the hospital for, Corporal?
Head injuries. He's lost his memory.
I walked the state and down past Dearborn until I found the Hideaway Club. It was half dark inside, lit with glowing colors from the jukebox. Down at the end of the bar, a young fellow leaned on his elbows, a glass of beer in front of him. About 29 or 30, well-built, lean, with a pallid face, indoors too much. His clothes looked brand new. I walked down and sat on the high stool next to him, but he didn't turn to look at me. Bill Perrin?
What?
Stone is my name, Bill. I'm a newspaper man.
How do you know me?
A buddy of yours gave me a call, Corporal Bennett from Hines Hospital.
Oh. Well, you can forget about Bennett and me.
Yeah, he's kind of worried.
Yeah. Thanks. Everybody's worried with me. It's everybody's business. Why don't you all leave me alone?
Who's been bothering
you? You are right now.
Okay. Just thought I might try to help.
Hey, what did you say your name was?
Stone, Randy Stone.
Oh, yeah, you got a column in the Star.
That's why Corporal Bennett called me. He said you read my stuff. I guess he thought we'd get along.
Well, I don't think so.
You sound bitter. The column's not that bad.
Bitter? Why should I be bitter? What have I got to be bitter about?
Well, it might have been kind of rough in Korea.
Well, for a lot of other fellas, too. No, you got me pegged all wrong. Thanks, anyway.
Well, maybe because you lost your memory.
He told you?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what?
Well, Chicago's a big place. Maybe you feel a little lost, and maybe I can help a little.
If I need any help, I'll call the Salvation Army.
That's a good idea. Do that.
Oh, hey, wait a minute, will you? I'm sorry. There is a way you can help me. Help me find my wife.
You have a wife?
I think so. My records show a wife. She'd never know it. You know this city. Maybe... Well, maybe...
Yeah, maybe.
Look, I wrote a couple of letters after I started to get back on my feet. The address on my service record. There was no answer.
Well, that could be any number of reasons.
Well, I never got the letters back. The allotment checks either. Well, I went to the address early this afternoon after I got out of Hines. It's a rooming house, new owner. Didn't know me or any Mrs. Perrin. He said he'd given the letters back to the mailman. Maybe they're still following me. I moved around a lot. Hospitals in Tokyo, Honolulu. Well, look, I don't know if she's alive.
Well, this amnesia of yours, can't you remember anything?
A lot before 6 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Her name. It's Alice. Who is she? What is she like? Does she love me? Where is she?
Well, how about the Army?
I didn't want them to. I didn't want them nosing around.
Why not?
Well, I guess I'm a little afraid. Oh, forget it, will you? Just forget it.
Did you try the telephone book?
Yeah, Hey, you want to see what she looks like?
A picture?
Yeah, it was with my things. No letters with my things, just vital statistics and this picture.
Oh, pretty.
Pretty? She's not pretty. I don't like pretty. Isn't a good word. There's something else there. Maybe lovely.
Oh, not maybe. She is lovely. How long you been married, Bill?
I wish I knew.
Uh-huh.
Now, what's the difference? What'll it come to anyway? How do I start my life all over again?
Well, the first thing to do is find your Alice. Come on.
No. I don't want to go with you.
What, are you afraid?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe you need your wife, Bill. I'll see what I can do. I dropped into a phone booth and called Vital Statistics and told the clerk what I wanted. Information on a marriage license made out to William Perrin and a girl by the name of Alice something. The clerk found a William Perrin married in 1945 to a girl named Alice Rowland. So the clerk looked up Alice Rowland in the city directory and found her now living at 1210 Waring Drive. The city on cards in a filing cabinet, 4 million lives cataloged in steel drawers. 1210 Waring Drive, apartment D. I pushed the button and waited.
Yes?
A big guy, 6'3" at least, and 220 pounds on the hoof. He was holding a highball glass in his hand.
What is it, Buster?
I'm looking for Alice Rowland.
Come in. Alice, for you.
Just a minute, Danny.
What's it about?
Bill.
Hmm?
Alice's husband, Bill Perrin.
You better beat it, Buster.
What?
Alice doesn't want to hear about him.
Well, she'll tell me if she wants to.
I'm telling you. Come on out.
After I talk to Alice. Now, look, you got a highball in your hand, Danny. I've got 2 free hands.
I don't need but one hand. Okay, on your way.
It was ridiculous, but he slammed me up against the wall with just the tips of his fingers. Not even a hand. It felt like a pile driver or a piston rod of a locomotive. He was right at home here, Danny boy.
Danny, what is it?
Buster's just leaving.
No, she wasn't pretty. Pretty is a bad word. She was lovely. Lovely lines on her face, little puzzled, little disturbed as she looked at me. You know how just someone looking at you can hit you, like a pile driver? Well, she hit me, Alice Roland Perrin, the soldier's wife. He didn't remember. Kind of physical, you're Danny.
What do you want?
It's a tiny story.
What? What do you want?
I'll tell it to you.
Who are you?
Stone is my name, Randy Stone.
I aimed wrong. I should have thrown you out the door.
Please, Danny.
Your husband's in town.
My husband.
I told you, Alice. I shouldn't have let him in.
Why did you drop the Perrin from your name, Alice?
What do you want?
It's what Bill wants. He wants his wife.
Get out. Get out. Out.
See, Buster?
But Bill...
Bill. I hate everybody by the name of Bill. I hate them all. I don't know any Bill.
Well, he doesn't know any Alice either.
What?
He doesn't remember. He can't, Alice. That's why he sent me.
I don't care if he's dead. Do you understand, Mr. Stone? I don't care if he's dead.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. It's the Silver Jubilee on NBC. Tonight you're invited to high adventure over NBC with the amazing Mr. Malone, a hard-hitting, fast-moving criminal lawyer always out for a new client and new adventure. The Man Called X brings to the NBC microphone screen actor Herbert Marshall as a security agent intent on preserving world peace through counter-espionage. Now here's a program note. Sunday, hear Lloyd Nolan in Martin Kane, Private Eye on NBC. And now, back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
Maybe that was the motif. Danny with a highball glass in his hand, not spilling a drop, and Alice saying, I don't care if he's dead. Well, I did, because I'd seen this kid just back from Korea without a memory.
Okay, you heard it yourself now.
Sure.
Then on your way.
I got my breath back, Danny.
Save it.
Just on general principles. I don't like you, Danny. You better put the glass down.
I don't need to, Buster. Remember, just one hand.
It felt good hitting him right in the middle, hitting him for Bill, and hitting him because I was angry at him, at Alice, at the whole thing. A big guy, a big target. He doubled over, and I brought one up from the floor. And I took care of the drink, too. Probably stained the nice figured rug.
Don't.
Don't what, Alice?
Well, help me with him. The couch.
He's not out. Okay, get up.
Did you do that?
You're soft.
Just a second. I need some of that breath back in my lungs.
Oh, Danny, go on home. Leave me alone.
I'm not just going to walk out and let you get involved in all that again.
Oh, what? You heard the lady, Danny boy. This is her apartment, isn't it? Even though you seem to know your way around.
Please, stop it.
Alice.
Danny, I want to talk to Mr. Stone.
Okay. But don't come running back to me with your troubles again.
What kind of a joker is that? You sure picked the right guy.
Don't try to make a comedy out of it. He's my brother.
Oh.
I asked him to go because I don't want any more fighting. Now you can go, too, Mr. Stone.
Not interested in Bill?
No.
Don't even want to see him?
No.
He's been shot up?
Well, I hope he's all right. I didn't mean what I said about him being dead, but it doesn't matter to me. Don't you understand? I wouldn't like to see anybody dead. That's why I wouldn't like to see Bill dead.
How long have you been married to?
Too long.
Well, that must have been a dandy marriage, make you feel like this after just 6 years.
All right, you know how long. I'm surprised Bill remembered.
Bill didn't. I got it from your marriage license. Bill doesn't remember anything before 6 weeks ago.
Oh.
He doesn't remember you, Alice, but he wants to remember. Maybe because he needs
Look,
you.
Mr. Stone, I don't want to talk about it. It's all done. It's finished.
Well, not for Bill, it isn't. You know, to tell you the truth, he struck me as a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Kind of a guy who'd make a nice home.
Mr. Stone, you don't know anything about him. We've been married 6 years, and it's been a miserable 6 years. Dying all the time.
Dying? Why?
What does a woman want? She falls in love and she marries a man who's in love with her. She wants a home, a little responsibility, friends. She wants to be able to help her husband, to build something. She doesn't want a husband who's a good-time Charlie, a nice guy, but a gambler and a drinker.
I see.
She doesn't want a husband who lives from payday to payday and leaves his wife alone 7 nights out of the week. She doesn't want her marriage to fall into a rut like that where she's taken for granted and her husband's softest endearment is to call her gorgeous. Hiya, gorgeous. Goodbye, gorgeous. I got a hot poker game on tonight. Don't stay up for me, gorgeous.
I see.
What do you think, Mr. Stone? If the chance came, don't you think she'd like to get rid of a husband like that?
Maybe.
Tried to save $1 a week. Put it away in the bank. I couldn't. Tried to get him away from that hole-in-the-wall rooming house we lived in. Tried to get him to buy a house, settle down. Tried to get him to stop gambling. Tried to tear him away from his cronies. Oh, yes, I tried.
I never thought I could misjudge a man so badly.
Oh, he's got a way about him.
Well, I didn't see the way about him. I saw a guy who's been through some tough times, and he's a little bewildered and a little scared.
That's a different picture than I have of him. And it's just possible I know him a little better.
Oh, sure, I can't argue that. But, before you chuck him away, why don't you do him a favor?
What kind of a favor? Mr. Stone, I don't want to get involved with him again.
Help him get his memory back.
Oh, that's the easiest thing I can do.
Oh?
He'll remember soon enough. Just take him to the places he used to go, the poker games, the gambling places, the bars.
Will you go along?
Will I? Sure. Sure, it won't take long.
I'll be kind of interested myself. Where's the first stop?
The Century Club, Mr. Stone. One look at the dice games, and it'll all come back to him.
I called the hotel and told Bill to meet us in front of the Century Club. And I figured the expense account could absorb a taxi. Alice didn't say a word, but there was something aloof and frozen in her, as though she'd put her heart in cold storage and wasn't going to thaw it out for anything or anyone. The taxi pulled up in front of the nightclub. I got out and helped Alice out and stood on the sidewalk for a moment before I saw Bill. He was a little way off, lonesome and waiting, looking at Alice with a soft, curious look in his eye.
Here it is, Mr. Stone. We'll have to go through the nightclub. There are stairs behind the orchestra pit.
Hello.
Oh, Bill. This is your wife.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Well, do you want to go upstairs, Mr. Stone? It'll help him a lot more to see the gambling. He'll remember it a lot more than he'll remember me.
What? What is it?
We're going to try to bring back your memory, Bill.
Oh? Something wrong?
Well, let's find out. He kept looking at her. He couldn't take his eyes off her. Once, when she felt his steady stare, she looked back for a second, and he turned away, embarrassed. Kind of funny, a guy falling for his wife all over again after 6 years. But she wasn't having any. We went through the nightclub to the back. I stopped at the bottom of the stairs.
No, not here, upstairs.
Yeah, I know, but not much point in me rolling along like an extra wheel.
Isn't there? You started this. You leave and I leave. This is no fun for me.
Bill, don't you think...
No. Please, Randy. Please stay with us.
No, Bill didn't think so either. So we went up the stairs and down a long aisle to a door marked with a big flowery C. I knocked, the door opened. A man in a tuxedo looked out at me.
Yes?
Can we get in?
No.
Well, I'm Randy Stone.
No.
You know Bill Perrin.
Oh, sure. Hi, Bill. Haven't seen you for a long time. Come in, if you'll vouch for this guy.
You know me?
Oh, that's good. Come in, folks. Make yourselves at home.
Should be familiar. It hasn't changed. Same tables, same roulette wheels, even the same smoke in the air.
Well, Bill?
No. But no, I never saw this place before. I don't understand.
Want to throw the dice a little?
I had to work too hard for my money, Mr. Stone. Why should I throw it away?
No, it sounds good. It sounds awfully good.
Did I gamble? Is that it? Did I throw my money away?
Do you remember Arlington Park? Leaving your job afternoons to go out there and bet on the horses?
I was quite a guy, wasn't I?
This is just one of the places. Remember a place called the Starlight Cafe?
No, What is it?
It was your home, away from home, the last year before you left for the Army.
Well, let's have a look.
Well, why? I don't want to.
It'll help you remember, Bill. It's worth a try. I was going to flag another taxi, but Bill said he'd hired a car, so we walked around the corner where he'd parked it, and Alice gave him directions. Like a guy taking his medicine, Bill didn't say anything now. He didn't even look at Alice, sitting up in the front seat right next to him. If Bill had been lonely and fumbling before, he was lost and without hope now. Now he knew he wasn't wanted. Now he was not only lonely, he was rejected. A lover without love. We got out in front of a tired little place with a 3-foot blue neon sign over the doorway, Starlight Cafe. A roadhouse, one of 1,000 that grew like fungi along the highway. Bill stopped just inside the doorway. He looked around, looked at everything, trying to find something to remember and not happy about it. A dirty place, dark, with booze and a girl drinking by herself at one end of the bar. A few couples down the other end. Bartender leaning a meaty arm over the bar, mopping the counter. His face lighting up as he caught sight of Bill.
Well, Bill Perrin, it's been a dog day.
The usual, Harry.
Sure. I heard you lost out the draft board, Bill. Sure. Some of the best people win that kind of a raffle.
He wasn't drafted.
No?
He re-enlisted. Well, there's your drink. Maybe a couple of them will make you remember instead of making you forget like it used to.
What a guy I was.
It doesn't come back?
No.
Harry, how many times did I have to come here and take him home?
Oh, so he fell asleep here once in a while. So what?
All the time we were married?
Not at first. Not at all at first. Oh, you always gambled. You always liked your friends around you. Even more than you liked me. But the last year, it was as though you didn't care for anything very much. Nothing to live for.
Let's get out of here.
Your drink?
I don't want it.
Here, bartender, take it out of this.
Why, sure, okay. What's wrong?
Scientific experiment in time travel. The past and the present are caught up with each other.
Oh, where are we going now?
To visit a friend of yours, a bosom pal. You shouldn't have any trouble remembering him. Saw a lot more of him than of me. Turn right at the corner.
What's his name?
Johnny Stevens, you'll remember.
Stevens? There's a Stevens in the hospital in Tokyo.
Johnny Stevens. He didn't go to war.
I don't know him.
Maybe the face will help.
You grew up with him. You two played cards together since you were 11 years old.
Cards?
Poker, all kinds. Stud, draw. Right there, that's his house.
All right.
And there's where we used to live. That house, the dirty one we couldn't move away from. Stevens lives 3 houses down. Why move away from your pals?
Bill killed the motor, and we got out. There was a small light on in one of the rooms. Alice rang the bell.
Well,
hello, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Alice. Hey, Billy boy, when you get back? Boy, if you only knew how I missed you.
Missed me?
Ah, the old gang ain't what it used to be. I ain't had a real hot game of poker since you left. That's a long time, Billy. Say, look, how about tonight, huh? Phil called a little while ago. We couldn't scare up enough hands. Maybe a friend.
Oh, this is Mr. Stone, Randy Stone.
Oh, hi, Red.
Hi.
Look, if you're a friend of Bill's, you sure play a cagey hand of stud.
Bill just got out of the hospital, Johnny.
Hospital?
He lost his memory. We hoped seeing you might be able to help him.
Wait a minute. You mean he don't remember anything? Hey, Bill, you don't remember me?
No.
Well, you don't remember the gang?
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I bet you remember a pair of deuces is better than a busted flush, though, huh? Come on, what about it? Let's get a game together. I'll call the guys.
No, thanks.
Oh, sure. Settle yourself down around a table with a stack of chips in front of you, and Teddy and Milty and...
No, thanks.
What's the matter? The old lady nagging again? Don't she ever learn it don't do no good?
Nagging?
No more nagging, Bill. Go on, play with him. You want a friendly game of poker, don't you, with your pals?
Maybe I needed something more than nagging, like some shell splinters in my head to make me understand. Goodbye, Stevens.
Stevens?
Let's get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here.
He doesn't remember you, Johnny. I don't think he wants to remember you either. Back in Bill's car, Bill's shoulders were tense, and on his face was the discovery of the kind of guy he'd been. Yeah, the night was running true to form. You can kid yourself there's hope for a lost cause when the sun is shining, but you gotta face the facts for what they are at night. And now there was just loneliness for Bill and bitterness for Alice.
Take me home, please.
Can't understand it. I don't want to gamble. I don't want to drink. I don't know how I could have been like that.
It's not hard to figure, Bill. Lots of marriages fall into ruts. People take each other for granted and get into selfish ways.
You do a lot of thinking in the Army. You're alone most of the time, alone with your thoughts. And you look at a picture of a woman and you think, she's married to me, and what kind of a life did I give her?
Take me home. Take me home.
Sure, I will. I'm sorry, Alice.
You weren't drafted, Bill. You re-enlisted, so Alice says. Why?
Well,
To get away from me, to chuck it all.
Maybe he didn't like the things he was doing either.
Well, if he didn't, he'd put on a good act of liking them.
Not that way now, Alice.
For how long?
Well, maybe it's worth finding
Until
out.
he gets his memory back. Until he remembers everything. Sure, maybe he doesn't want to gamble now. But how about tomorrow? When his memory comes back, all the rest of it will come back, too. Hey, where are we going? We're not going home.
No, we're not.
Stop this car.
We'll stop it when we get where we're going.
What are you trying to pull, Bill?
Well, sit back in your seat, Stone. We're going fast enough now so that a little turn of the wheel...
It's kind of a dumb play, Bill. What's the angle?
I found out some things about myself tonight. I also found out I have a wife. Well, I don't like what I found out. But I don't want to go back to being nobody again either.
So?
So I'm going to say some things, and Alice is going to have to listen.
All right, but you don't have to do it at 60 miles an hour.
I can't explain about how I was before. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Bill, there are all kinds of
Week after week, lying in that hospital bed with nothing to do but try and remember. Only all you had your head was this great big blank.
Mr. Stone, you'll wreck the car.
Well, they say you have a wife. They say that picture on your nightstand. That's her. But what's she really like? Where is she now? Maybe she's thinking about you, worrying about you. Maybe she's praying for
you. Please, Bill.
This wife you can't even remember. Just knowing that somewhere she exists. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference having somebody in this crazy, lonely world who cares whether you live or die.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
What? Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
I don't know if Bill Perrin should have been let out of the hospital sooner or if he belonged there for the rest of his life. He was either awfully determined or awfully dangerous. We were hitting the outskirts of the city. Bill was driving slower now, as though he knew where he was going.
Look, why don't you take me home? It's late. I've got to go to work tomorrow.
Well, I said to myself on that hospital bed, now's your chance. Be smart. You've been saving every penny out of your sergeant pay. Do something with your life. And for this wife, you can't even remember.
We were driving through an area of one-family houses, middle class and nice. Bill turned a corner and put on his brakes. A neat little house with yellow lights framing the door and a big sign on the lawn, sold. Bill sat there looking out the windshield, not turning to look at us.
When I got out of the hospital this afternoon, I rented this car and drove out here. I wanted to take another look at it.
Another? You let that slip, Bill.
It was a long time ago, this same house. I wanted to buy it so bad.
I know, Alice.
You drove out on a Sunday. You didn't even want to look at it. You remembered this house. You remembered everything.
Alice.
You don't have amnesia. All those places we went to tonight.
You said I'd change back to what I was when I got my memory back.
Bill.
Do you still believe it?
Oh, Bill.
He never had amnesia. Used to trick me so that I could help him get back his wife. He and that buddy of his, Corporal Bennett, used me for a fall guy. Well, I feel pretty good about it, being used as a patsy. Feel pretty good Bill understood between the lines of the things I wrote. Feel pretty good Bill had the courage and the instinct to fight his way back to health. Because he was sick at one time. And the amnesia? Well, he wanted to forget the things he'd done, and I think he did pretty good. I couldn't want to do any better with some of my own problems. Oh, well. Coffee, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis. Tonight's transcribed story was written by Merwin Gerard and Selig Lester, with music by Robert Armbruster. The part of Bill Perrin was played by Stacey Harris. Joan Banks was Alice. Others featured in tonight's cast were Ted DeCorsia, Ed Max, and Tony Barrett. Frank Lovejoy can currently be seen co-starring with Joan Crawford and Robert Young in Warner Brothers' Goodbye, My Fancy. Night Beat came to you from Hollywood. It's the Silver Jubilee on NBC.
NBC presents Frank Lovejoy in Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Chicago was known as the Windy City, and for good reason. The winds blow by the hour and the week and the month. Off Lake Michigan, up from the Plains country, and down from the heavy timbered north. If you cock your ear, you can hear 27 languages whistling in from the suburbs. Lift your nose, and the breezes will fill it with the scent of foreign cooking, the perfume of the shop girls, and the aroma of businessmen's cigars. Push your hand into the wind, and you can feel the dampness of the tears. And if you really tilt your head the right way, close your eyes, hold your breath, and listen hard, you can hear the moans of the dying. It was a busy Wednesday night. Barnes on the city desk asked me to lend a hand, and I filled in on rewrite for a couple of hours. I just finished taking a leg man's notes over the headphones when the switchboard buzzed me on a personal.
Randy Stone?
Now, speaking.
My name's Richards. I'm a doctor on a receiving ward at Cook County Hospital. Stone, an accident case just came in asking for you. A fellow by the name of John Smith.
That's a familiar name.
He was hit by a car on Adamic Street about an hour ago. We've done everything we could. He hasn't got long.
That bad?
The chaplain just administered last rites.
John Smith, huh?
Yeah.
Tell him I'll be right over, Doctor. In my day, I've run into maybe 100 John Smiths, all of them with a story to tell, a piece of news to peddle, or a lie or two they just give away. But I wondered what kind of a story this particular John Smith wanted to tell me before he died. Dr. Richards met me at the desk. We shook hands, and he walked me down to the end of the hall.
Poor devil, he's really all cracked up.
Well, what happened to him exactly?
Accident report says he crossed Adamic Street in front of the Singer Hotel. Taxi was passing a truck. It was dark. A man in good health might survive such an injury, but not this man. He's at a dangerous point of debility. Hasn't eaten properly for months. A lot of drinking. Terribly neglected.
Oh, I see.
Here we are. He's in there.
Hello. Randy Stone.
Yeah, I know. You don't remember me, huh, Randy?
John Smith, I'm afraid.
Bend down, Randy. Take a good look.
No, it can't be.
John Smith of the obituary columns, Randy.
Frank Lyons.
Yeah, that's right, Randy. What's left of it. You were just out of the cub ranks in my day.
Frank, how did you get
It's
it?
a long story. I'm afraid I haven't got time to tell it.
Oh, what's on your mind?
A guy named Felix Henderson, Randy. Ever hear of him?
No.
Not many people have. But he's a real story. I asked you to come here because I thought maybe you...
I'd write it for you. Sure.
When I got out of Northwestern, I said I was going to be the biggest newspaper man in this town.
You were once.
Yeah, but it didn't last. In 1940, I met Cora, my wife. She was sleek and smart, and just as ambitious as I was. Maybe it doesn't fit in with the general idea, but we got married on one condition. That we both go right to the top and stay there. It worked, too. But this one night when I met Felix Henderson, Cora and I were having cocktails.
Well, give me the news, Frank.
Can you stand me for another 5 years, honey?
Well, that depends.
Well, I just signed up for a 5-year renewal with the paper. My own time, my own stories, and my own column. I'm going to climb all over this town, and both of us will wind up right on top.
Frank and Cora Lyons against the world.
Yeah.
Oh, darling, tell me we aren't doing it wrong, playing it this way. Winners or nothing. It is right, isn't it?
Well, of course it's right. We've come this far together. What's the matter? Is the pace too much for you, kid?
No, Frank. You would walk out if I failed you in any way, wouldn't you?
You know it, baby. Same way you would walk out on me if I slipped. So, here's to no slips, honey. You know, I like being with you.
And I like being with you.
Mr. Lyons?
Oh, yes.
My name's Felix Henderson. Could we talk? I've got a story for you.
Well, sure. Sit down. This is my wife.
How do you do?
My car is parked up front. Could we talk out there?
Well, I do. Okay. Sorry, darling. Business.
I'll wait here.
Okay, Henderson, what is it?
Lyons, I looked you up because they tell me you're a reporter.
I always want a story, Henderson.
Well, this isn't just a gift. I'm not offering you a rumor or something. This is my car.
Okay. Well, I'll give you just 3 minutes to interest me.
It's about old Stan Callahan, the big contractor. They're going to get him on an embezzling charge.
Stan Callahan on an embezzling charge? Well, you're crazy, Felix.
Yeah? I've got the proof right here in this briefcase. 500.
Okay. Let's have it, but it better be straight.
In a nutshell, it's this. Here's his bookkeeping records. It's all down here in fine print, how he did it.
Oh. Can I borrow these?
You cannot. You can sit here in the car and make a longhand copy of anything you want.
Well, these look like IOUs.
They are. Old Stan Callahan's daughter, Patricia, lost a lot of money to a gambling syndicate. Wrote them these IOUs. Callahan refused to come across it first, but the gamblers put the pressure on him. So old Stan stole the money from the company and paid off for his daughter.
Where do you fit in, Felix?
I'm a private detective. A certain gambling interest asked me to keep an eye on Patricia Callahan just in case she tried to leave town or something.
Okay, Felix, this is a story, and you'll get your 500. So I wrote the story. My paper printed it. The Benner was sued for libel. But Callahan was never indicted. All that stuff Felix Henderson had shown me was so much junk. I was bounced and blackballed and washed up overnight. I tried to tell everybody that it was a frame, but nobody would believe me.
What about this Felix Henderson?
I never could break it because Felix Henderson vanished. Whoever wanted me broken, whoever it was, hired him to frame me. Never had the satisfaction of seeing me run out of town with my tail between my legs.
Easy.
I've hung around here every day since then. Letting this happen to me. Waiting to get hold of something that'd put me up there again. And today I saw it.
What?
Felix Henderson. Walking down the Damick Street. I tailed him, and when he crossed to go into the Singer Hotel, I followed. Only, with my luck, here I am. A loser again.
I'll go and see him for you, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you, Stone.
Frank, this wife of yours, would you like me to...
No, forget her, Randy. She kept our agreement and divorced me a long time ago. She's with a new winner now. Henderson, that's who I want you to see. Just Henderson.
The clerk at the Singer Hotel told me Mr. Henderson was out and that he wouldn't be back for 2 hours. So I went back to the Star morgue file and pulled out the clippings on the old Callahan story. Everything was just as Frank Lyons had said. That is all one could see on the surface. Stan Callahan had died 2 years ago and left his daughter Patricia as the only heir. I got her address, a Gold Coast apartment, and I went over to have a talk. She was pretty as a postcard and as innocent looking as your sister.
Frank Lyons? Oh, the reporter.
Yes, that's the one. He's in a hospital right now. I wanted to look into his story a little.
Well, after what he wrote about me and my father, you can't expect him to care, can you?
He's dying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, Miss Callahan, it doesn't make any difference now what happens. It's all over. There are no witnesses here. Tell me, did Lyons ever do anything to your father that would make him want to get even?
Frankly, that's what's mystified us. We never met the man before in our lives.
I journeyed back to the Singer Hotel to see Felix Henderson. They said he was in the bar. I found him. A tall, lanky, gray-haired guy with a hard face.
Yes, I'm Felix Henderson. What's on your mind?
Frank Lyons. He told me about the old Callahan story. He told me that you framed him with those papers that you gave him.
Well, that wasn't very nice of him. I didn't give Frank Lyons any papers. He made all that up.
It's kind of strange you left town at the same time, isn't it?
There are a lot of strange things in life.
Uh-huh. Here's the way I see it, Felix. Pat Callahan is clean. You were hired to frame Frank Lyons, probably to keep him from printing some other story.
That's how you figure it, eh?
I said it.
Tell me, how are you fixed for money?
Well enough.
All right. I'll level with you as much as I can. I'm broke. I need money. Nothing makes any difference anymore. It's all over. So if you've got a couple of bucks, I'll give you what I know.
And the way you gave it to Lyons?
No. But you can take it or leave it. I'm not making any apologies for what I'm selling.
All right, where can we talk?
Up in my room.
So we finished our drinks and climbed up the stairs to his room. He looked nervous and a little scared, and frankly, I didn't know what to expect. I walked behind him all the way. He unlocked the door, and we went in.
I never can find that light switch.
Should be on the right over here.
They've got the dumbest reporters in the world in this town.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
It's the Silver Jubilee on NBC. Here's a program note. Be sure to hear the new adventure series, Martin Caine, Private Eye, featuring popular stage and screen actor Lloyd Nolan, beginning this Sunday over NBC. And remember your two Friday evening favorites, The Amazing Mr. Malone and The Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. Yes, Friday evening means top mystery entertainment with The Amazing Mr. Malone and The Man Called X. And beginning Sunday, hear Martin Caine, Private Eye, all on this, your NBC station.
And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
Death is the most intense drama of all. And no matter what the declarations, gunshot, disease, drowning, or old age, you're never quite prepared to cope with this single spectacle that all men have in common. Maybe that's why I made my promise to Frank Lyons as he lay dying in the Central Receiving Hospital. What did I get out of it? Spectacle that all men have in common. Maybe that's why I made my promise to Frank Lyons.